My most anticipated movie of the year coming out is, of course, Deadpool 3. We already know a lot of people are popping up in it. Hugh Jackman's in there. Hell, even Jennifer Garner is coming back as Elektra. But who else could be in there? And that is the topic of today's Mint Mobile hotline question of the day. Listen, guys, if you've got a topic or a question for the show and you'd like to hear your voice on our show, go ahead and call the hotline number anytime 24/7 at 951-268-4259. Every day we pick one or two questions out, and today's is about certain someone that may or may not appear in Deadpool. Check it out.
Hey John, this is Alan. I know we have Hugh Jackman coming back in Deadpool 3. We have a bunch of old characters coming back, but I saw a recent interview with James McAvoy. He was on for E.T. He was on some sort of red carpet. And when she was asked about possibly returning as Professor X, and he was very coy about it. He said he can't say anything, or anything he says will get him in trouble. What are your thoughts on this? And do you think his non-committal to saying no is actually an indication that he's actually going to be in Deadpool 3, or maybe even Secret Wars? Thanks. Love to hear your thoughts.
So James McAvoy was asked about this on the red carpet. You're going to be in Deadpool 3. And unfortunately, everybody's running with the headline of the very first thing he said, but everybody's been ignoring the last thing he said. Because yes, as our caller pointed out, he did say, listen, I can get in trouble by answering stuff like this. But then that's all people talked about was that, ooh, he said he could get in trouble for answering this. But let's look at what James McAvoy really said, because I watched the video and he was very matter-of-fact about it. This is what McAvoy said. He said the following. He said, anything I say will get me in trouble on something like that. But then he said very matter-of-factly, I have had no contact from them. If they want me to come back, they need to talk to me. Need to be a good script. They need to want me, all that stuff. When stuff like that happens or doesn't happen, that's the reality of it. I'm not saying anything. Now, look, when he said, if I get in trouble answering stuff like that, I don't think he was talking about getting in trouble from Marvel. I think he was talking about getting in trouble in general. Like if I hit one thing, everybody gets mad at me because they thought I said this and then that didn't happen, whatever. But he was if you watch the video, he was very direct, very matter of fact. I have had no contact from the people at Disney or Marvel. Now remember, James McAvoy was in Deadpool 2. And a lot of people are going to be popping up in Deadpool 3. It is not an irrational thought to think James McAvoy may indeed pop up there as Professor Charles Xavier. I mean, hell, Patrick Stewart's already kind of hinted that he's going to probably be popping up in there, and I believe that. Is it possible James McAvoy could be popping up in here? I think it's possible. But I wouldn't put money on it because I actually believe him when he says, nobody from there has talked to me. Now, you could rightfully point out and say, well, John, Andrew Garfield said they haven't talked to me either. And of course, he did pop up again as Spider-Man. True. But that's like 1 or 2 times out of 100. Like 98 times out of 100 when actors say, I have not been talked to about that, it usually turns out that's exactly what it is. On rare exceptions, like the Andrew Garfield, it turns out that they were lying a little bit. But I don't see any reason why James McAvoy, this is the thing, Rob, with everybody already saying they're coming back into it, I don't see any reason James McAvoy would even feel the need to be coy about it. Like I honestly think if he was coming back, he would just straight up say, yeah, I'm probably going to be there. Or keep your eyes open. I mean, Patrick Stewart's talking about it. All these other people are talking about it. Yeah, what are they going to do? Right? So I believe he's telling the truth when he says straight up, they haven't talked to me. So I don't think he's going to appear in it, but I wouldn't count it out. I wouldn't put money against it. You know what I'm saying? Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. On average, it takes about 30 days for a person to break their New Year's resolution. So if saving money was on your 2024 list, your odds aren't looking that great. Luckily, I have a 100% guaranteed way to save you money this year. Just switch to Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for $15 a month. I've told you guys many times that after switching to Mint Mobile, I am spending less than a third on my cell bill than I used to with a major carrier. Say goodbye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. All Mint plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And don't worry about having to change phones or numbers. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. So guys, to get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bills to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. Anyway, Rob, you heard what James McAvoy had to say. How do you interpret it?
I think clearly, whether they are in it or not, they just can't say anything, especially now. And I think the easiest way is just to deny it, because if there's one thing in Hollywood you can deny and not get dinged about it later, is being in a Marvel movie, as proven by Andrew Garfield, because then it just becomes fun. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if Nicholas Hammond, who played the live-action Spider-Man in the 70s, shows up in some multiverse clip in this movie. I would just assume that, as a matter of fact, you know, I wouldn't put it past that anybody, The Crow could show up in this movie. That was a New Line film. It has nothing to do with Marvel. If Eric Draven shows up in this movie, played by Jason Momoa. By the way, I have not heard anything to that effect. I'm just making this stuff up on the spot. It wouldn't surprise me. In this movie with the multiverse, who knows who's going to be in this movie? I just assume everybody would be, because I would imagine that part of the inspiration is Deadpool destroys the Marvel Universe. But in this case, you can have Deadpool destroy everything because he's not in the Marvel Universe, at least not yet. I guess the point of this movie is, how does he get into the Marvel Universe so he can leave a wake of destruction of all kinds behind him? Hell, it's Fox. I wouldn't be surprised if Deadpool shows up on Tatooine and kills everyone in the Star Wars universe before getting over.
Oh,
into...
now you got that Parks and Rec. Who's the comedian that did that again?
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm drawing a blank, but I know who you mean.
The guy who does the voice of Ratatouille.
Oh my God!
Guys in the live chat, who's the comedian I'm thinking of here? Patton Oswalt.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Why couldn't I think
Ron H was the first one put it in. The legendary Patton Oswalt thing when he does this thing on Parks and Rec talking about the epic crossover of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Again, listen, remember, James McAvoy did appear, split second, no dialogue, but he did appear in Deadpool 2.
I mean, look, I've heard things about this movie that I will not share that make me very excited to see it. But what I hope that it doesn't degenerate into is 2-second cameos by all these people. I still hope, look, the great thing about Deadpool 3, I mean, the Deadpool franchise, is that the first Deadpool is a legitimately great film. It's a legitimately great superhero movie. It's a great Ryan Reynolds star vehicle. And everything about it is, it's a great film despite the fact that he's breaking the fourth wall and it's Deadpool. I hope, and same with Deadpool 2, I hope that tradition is maintained in this film, because with all the cameos, the potential for silliness is extreme. And one of the things I've loved about one of the things I've loved about this franchise is it's stayed on a razor's edge of being both hilarious and funny and fourth wall breaking, but also being a legitimate story. Both films have real pathos, real emotion, real characterization, and yet they're funny as hell, and they still stay in the Fox Marvel universe, and it's like to me it's a magic trick, and I hope that that's maintained in Deadpool 3.
But here's the thing with the silliness, right? I remember I was talking to somebody about this earlier, saying I just hope that they don't make Deadpool 3 too silly, or Deadpool 3 too silly. And I was like, but you love the first Deadpool. He goes, yeah, I love it. He goes, I'm like, that movie was incredibly silly. Said the only difference is, the difference between, like, say, Deadpool and, say, Thor: Love and Thunder was that when Deadpool did something really silly, Ryan Reynolds made sure it was something silly that was going to make everybody laugh their ass off. Because when you're funny and you make everybody laugh, we'll let silly go. But when you have Bao, the god of dumplings, and you're silly but not hilariously funny, then that really misses. So I'm expecting a lot of silliness in Deadpool 3.
Well,
I just expect when it is silly, it's going to have us rolling on the floor laughing.
Yeah, but it's contextually. I mean, the thing is, it's the silliness is surrounded by also real emotion, real storytelling, real pathos. The thing about Deadpool is the silliness is surrounded by not silly. You know, the violence, right. the all of that stuff. Whereas, and to have that tone, Ryan Reynolds gets the tone. He controls the tone. And I want to see that tone maintained because, like I said, it's a razor thin. They're walking a razor's edge every moment in those movies, but they work.
Right. All right, guys. Question is for you. You think James McAvoy is going to pop up there? I personally believe him when he said, because he sounded dead serious. Look, straight up, they haven't talked to me, and I can't do anything until they talk to me. I kind of believe it. But he was in the other one, and a lot of people are going to be there. Do you think he's going to pop up there? Jump into our comment section and let us know down below. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.